Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something every creator deals with, brand partnerships. We're going to break down how you can navigate those tricky contracts, price your work like a pro, and most importantly, get paid what you're really worth. Okay, let's kick things off with a super common scenario. A brand slides into your DMs, they love your stuff, and they offer you $1,000 for one video. I mean, sounds pretty good, right? But hold on. The real question isn't about the what, it's about the how. How are they actually going to use that video?
Right. It's all about usage. Because what if that one video isn't just a post? What if they want to run it as a global ad forever? Like, we're talking Times Square billboards, ads in every country, the whole shebang. All of a sudden, that $1,000 deal feels, well, completely different, doesn't it?
And that, right there, is the gap we're going to close today. We're going to give you the tools and the confidence to totally own these negotiations. And it all kicks off with one absolutely crucial shift in how you think about yourself.
Okay, first section. This is all about that mindset shift we just talked about. Moving from thinking of yourself as a service provider to seeing yourself as an asset owner. Seriously, getting this right is the foundation for everything else.
So here is the number one most important thing you have to burn into your brain. When you create a video or a photo, you are the copyright holder, by default, legally. A brand paying you doesn't mean they own it. You own the intellectual property. And that one simple fact, it changes the entire game.
And this really breaks it down, right? You're not just a service provider getting paid once to do a job. No. You are a media company. You own valuable assets, your content, and you license those assets out. Think about it. You're not just selling your labor, you're licensing your property. All right, so you've got the mindset down. You're a media company now, so let's make sure you can talk the talk. In this next part, we're going to get into the key lingo you'll see in every contract. This is what's going to give you that confidence. First up, deliverables. This one's pretty straightforward. It's the easy part. It's just the stuff you're making. You know, the what. 1 Instagram reel, 3 story frames. That's the service part of the deal. Okay, now for the really important one, usage rights or licensing. If the deliverables were the service, this is where you're dealing with the asset. This is the permission you grant a brand. It spells out exactly how, where, and for how long they get to use your work. And then there's this big one you're going to hear a lot, whitelisting. This is a specific kind of usage right where you let the brand run paid ads directly from your social media handle. This is a huge deal for them. It's super valuable, which means, you guessed it, you should be charging a premium for it.
So, how do we turn all this knowledge into actual money? Let's get to the good part. In this section, we're going to build a simple framework for pricing your work. We're going to turn that media company mindset into cold, hard numbers on an invoice.
Okay, pricing is basically a 2-step dance. Step 1, you figure out your base rate. This is your fee for the creative labor, the service of making the content. A common rule of thumb to start is maybe 1% of your follower count, but it can vary. Then step 2, you stack on the licensing fees. This is for the right to actually use the asset you created. In this chart here, this is your cheat sheet. It gives you a really clear way to think about those licensing fees. Let's go back to our $1,000 example. If your base rate is $1,000 and they want to whitelist your content, you'd add, say, 25 to 35% of that per month. So for 3 months, that's an extra $750 to over $1,000 on top of your base rate. See, this is how you go from a one-off payment to a real revenue stream. So as you can see from that chart, whitelisting is a big deal. It's where the real money is. But it's not just some random line item on an invoice. It's a massive opportunity for you and for the brand. Let's dig into why it's so incredibly valuable. Okay, so for the brand, whitelisted ads are like gold. They perform so much better than regular ads. Why? Because the ad is coming from you, a creator their audience already knows and trusts. It feels way more authentic, and the results speak for themselves. We're talking up to double the return on their ad spend. That's huge. And the best part? The actual tech setup on your end is super simple. You're not handing over your keys to the kingdom or anything. On Instagram or Facebook, you just accept a business partner request. For TikTok, you generate something called a Spark ad code. You never, ever give out your password. You're just using the platform's own safe and secure tools to grant them permission.
All right, last section. Let's talk about locking all this down and protecting yourself. A solid contract is your absolute best friend in this business, but you gotta know what to look for and what red flags to run away from.
Let me be super clear. A formal written contract is non-negotiable, period. And it needs to spell everything out. The deliverables, how many revisions they get, and of course, your pay, with the base rate and all the licensing fees listed out separately. But most importantly, it has to have super detailed usage rights. No vague language. Ever.
Okay, now I want you to look for one specific word. If you see this word in a contract, I want you to stop everything. That word is perpetuity. This is the biggest red flag in the business. It means the brand wants to use your content forever.
So, what do? You push back. And you can use this exact phrase right here. You're basically asking them, hey, does your campaign really need a forever license? Or would, 6 or 12 months work? Most of the time, a fixed term is totally fine for them. But if they still insist,
then you make them pay for it. This isn't just another licensing fee, this is a full buyout. The industry standard is to charge a one-time fee of 2 to 3 times your base rate. Why so much? Because you're giving up the right to ever make money from that piece of content again, forever.
And before we wrap up, just one last really important point on being a pro. Your entire business is built on trust, on authenticity. So whether your niche is pets or family or finance, you have to prioritize ethical practices. It's not just about doing the right thing, it's about protecting the long-term value and integrity of your brand. So let's bring it all back to that first idea. The next time a brand deal lands in your inbox, what are you going to see? Are you going to see a job, or are you going to see a valuable asset that you're licensing? Are you a service provider, or are you a media company? The choice is yours.